Well, I suppose, like me, you've all been caught up over the past week in that grotesque political pantomime, the Jacob Zuma transition. It's a classic example of procrastination, time-wasting, double talk, the sort of thing that those in authority always tend to indulge in when they don't want to face up to reality or don't want to answer difficult questions. And this week it was an absolutely excellent example. But you know, at the same time, completely eclipsed by what's been happening at the very top level, has been another case of the same sort of thing, this time involving the Ministry of Finance and the Minister, Malusi Gigaba. You see, the PSA, which is the Public Servants Association, they tend to use the initials now PSA, like COSATU or BP instead of British Petroleum. They asked the Minister for a full disclosure about how the board of the Public Investment Corporation, which is the state-owned manager of funds, is appointed. And they also wanted worker representation on the board. Since September last year, they have been asking and been fobbed off and fobbed off and fobbed off. Finally, last week, actually on this platform, Fin24, it was announced on Friday morning that the PSA had had enough and they were taking the matter to court. Within 6 hours, there was a meeting arranged by the ministry for Monday of this week at 11:30. But the meeting never took place. However, that put the legal matter on hold. The meeting was then cancelled and another date proposed, March the 2nd. Well, this of course means that you can't have an urgent application to court while the meeting is still scheduled. But the union has accepted that. At the same time, they're going ahead with the court action, which is, well, they should, because they say, because we don't know if it will happen. Even for that matter, they might say, we don't know who will be the Minister of Finance by March the 2nd. But there's considerable anger within the state sector because this involves pensions. And if there's one issue in the world, and I think anywhere, that really will employer, whether it's a government or a private sector, picking a fight with workers would be to touch their pensions. Don't touch me on my pension, to use a South Africanism. You don't interfere with pensions. Even workers who are not traditionally militant will react when you go against their pensions. Take, for example, what's happening in Britain at the moment. 61 universities will go on a rolling mass action from Thursday next week. They voted, despite laws which make it extremely difficult for unions to take such action in Britain, the new labour laws, which require polling, etc., and 50% threshold of involvement. Overwhelmingly, these people have voted, university lecturers, etc., have voted to go on massive strike because of touching their pensions. And I think that this is a lesson that governments everywhere, including here, should well take heed of, because you don't mess with workers' pensions. Now, that's going to be the focus of my column, Inside Labour, which you can access, as always, on this platform, Fin24 tomorrow, a version of which will appear in the City Press on Sunday. However, this is also the last Labour Wrap, and I thank you all for watching, for listening over the years since we've been doing these Labour Wraps. But it's the end of the financial year, and we've been told that's the end of Labour Wraps. However, for the foreseeable future, we will still have Inside Labour, which, as I say, you can access on this platform, Fin24 tomorrow, and a version of which will appear in the City Press on Sunday. And of course, you can still comment to the Inside Labour columns to editor@fin24.com. Thank you all for your attention.